We are live. Yes, I am aware that my name said Jessica for a little while. Welcome. This is Rewriting Reality. I am Shiraz, not Jessica. And we are back for another week and for some fun, for some shifts. And we'll see what kind of magic we can create today. So if you have not been on the show, I am the author of How to Rewrite Reality. That's my book there. And in the session, I help people to rewrite their realities. And the way that works is that I'm going to bring some of the attendees on. If you are on Facebook, I'm going to have to put the link there so you can see how to become an attendee. There are people that are signed up as attendees, and I'm going to have conversations with them. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your subconscious beliefs. So in other words, I know when you are lying. Now, I don't care if you're lying to me, I care if you're lying to you. So what's going to happen today is I'm going to talk to people about issues that are going on in their life, something in their reality they want to change. And when I detect that there's a lie in what they're saying, we're going to dig down to find out what the belief is or the story that's there that makes it a lie. So for an example, I may say, or you may say, I would like to double my income this year. And I would say, no, you actually don't. That's a lie. Let's find out why. And we'll dig down, and a belief may come up that, well, if I double my income, that's a lot of money. I feel really nervous about having to handle that much money. So your subconscious says, well, if you're nervous about handling that much money, let's just not make it so you won't double your income. Or if I double my income, then it's going to mean a lot of work, because to make twice as much money means twice as much work. That could be a belief that's in here, and you don't want to do twice as much work. So the best thing is to not double your income. And there could be a whole bunch of beliefs that are locking you in from doubling your income or finding the right person or whatever the case may be. We're going to dig it all. And when we get to a belief, I'm going to ask, are you willing to destroy that belief? And if you say yes and you mean it, then, ooh, wow, energy shifting already. Then the belief gets destroyed in that moment. And so when that happens, energy shifts. And for me, when energy shifts, I tend to yawn and cough. So that's going to be happening on the show today. I am not sick. I am not tired. That's just my process. It's not a process I came up with. It's just how my body reacts. So here we are. When I work on someone that is one of the attendees, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, for some of the attendees that I've worked with before, I do know what's going to happen. But if you're new, I have no idea what's going to happen. So you could yawn, you could cough. It could be that you just feel lighter and happier. You could get hotter or colder. So however it shows up is just the way your body deals with energy. So, and some people may not feel anything at all. It's just how it works. Ooh, and some people are shifting from that information. That's interesting how energy works. Okay. So if you hear me say ow, it's because the belief we're trying to shift is, excuse me. Okay, there's so much shifting going. We haven't even started yet. People are ready. The belief we're trying to shift is something that's very, very precious to you, and you don't want it shifted. You may want it shifted consciously, but at a subconscious level, you don't want it shifted. So it's like you're throwing energetic daggers at me. It doesn't really hurt. It's just an awareness I have. I've just put the Zoom link in the chat on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and you want to switch over to Zoom, then you can come in and I can have some time to work on you. If we have time, we've got till 4:00. And the energy is still shifting. This is great. And here's the other thing. If I'm working on one person here and you have a similar belief, when I ask them, are you willing to destroy that belief? You can say yes wherever you are, even if you're watching the replay, and it will shift for you if you mean it. if you really want to change that belief. And my recommendation is whatever I'm asking them to shift, it's always something that's limiting. So if I ask them to destroy the belief, just say yes anyways, because you may not know you had it. That person I'm talking to probably didn't know they had the belief until I started talking to them. So if there's a chance it's there, why not clear it out anyway? You know, get it all clean and get into this new place of freedom, of possibility, and just have fun with that. Now, for the people that are in my attendees list, which is growing quickly as we speak, if you would like to get worked on, then go to the participants button and click that, and then find the raise hand button and raise your hand. And then I'll know that you want to be, hopefully all the hands just start going up on my side here. Okay. And so it looks like we've got a bunch of people I'll be working on today. And I'm trying to think if I missed anything else as far as what's going on. No, I think that's it. We are going to start off with Yoni Moon. Okay, so I'm turning you into a panelist. And just unmute yourself. And if you'd like, turn on your video and we can have a conversation.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty heavy today.
Okay.
Nice to see you. So what's I think what's coming up for me today is just recurring not wanting to be in my body, and even in this existence, if I can expand that big. Yeah, but it just shows up always as not wanting to be in my body. And like a lack of commitment to myself.
Okay. It actually feels like there's some trauma in your body.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm feeling a lot of pain in my left leg today, like excruciating pain.
Okay. Oh, do you need to hold on to that trauma?
You instructed us to say yes.
No, I asked, are you willing to destroy the belief? You say,
yes. Okay.
Right now,
do I need to hang on to it? No, I don't.
Okay, so that's not actually coming up as true. All right. So what would happen if you let go of that trauma and didn't have to deal with that trauma anymore?
I could fly.
You could fly?
Live my life.
Okay.
The way I know I have the potential to.
Okay. And why are you getting into such resistance at that thought?
Because I'm terrified of probably being lots of things, being judged, not being being misunderstood, being criticized. Being criticized is a big one.
Okay. All right. So no matter what you do, people are going to criticize you. So whether you live your life in a big way or you don't live your life in any way, people are going to criticize you. That's just what people do. The thing is, are you going to let those criticisms affect you? Because what's happening is there's two things at play. There's a whole bunch of people that are in their stories of life, and what's right and what's wrong, and whether you're doing it right and whether you're doing it wrong, and whether it matches their beliefs. And that's just where they are. So what you do is not going to affect what they believe. It's typically not going to change their beliefs. They're just going to keep having those thoughts. So if you let it affect you, you're not going to grow. You're not going to expand. You're not going to create the business and the life you want. So, but that's because of all this stuff that's going on in their world that has nothing to do with you.
I get that.
On the flip side, there's what's going on in you. If you feel you're not worthy, then that's going to go out and you're going to encounter people that are going to say, oh, Yoni, I don't think you're worthy. I don't think you have what it takes. And that's just a reflection that's going on in you. So you've got both sides. So the first thing we want to do is get you out of worrying about whatever everyone else is thinking, because it doesn't matter, right? The more you're in line with who you are and confident of your value and what you can offer, the more people out there will recognize that. And those are the people who are going to show up in your life and say, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Right? So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to make sure no one thinks bad things about you?
Yes.
How do you feel when you're in the spotlight?
I like it and I'm afraid of it. I've mixed feelings, extreme at extreme ends of the continuum.
Okay. So are you trying to avoid the spotlight for all the reasons you don't like it?
Yeah, I have been for the past 5 years. I've been hiding.
Okay. Okay. Are you willing to step out of the story that being in the spotlight is dangerous?
Yes.
It's okay. Let it out. Okay. Are you willing to step out of the story that you haven't earned the right to be in the spotlight?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. And whose story is it that you're not worthy?
Well, mine. I don't
That's
know.
coming up true.
Lots of people from my past,
Okay.
my family, ex-boyfriends.
Okay. So you're taking on their stories and making it your reality. And you don't need to take on all, you don't have to live in their stories at all. You can step out of all of that. And remember that people that have put you down in the past would only do so if they're in a space that they feel better of themselves by putting other people down. People in a place of low self-esteem have to put other people down to feel better about themselves. So,
Logically, that all makes sense, and I
right.
get
Okay.
it.
So are you willing to step out of the other people's stories that you're not worthy of not worthy of everything you want to do?
Yes. The last time I was in public professionally, I was publicly um, made to be wrong by my ex partner who we were working together. So it was very public
Mhm.
that he made me out to be wrong.
Okay.
And I know I wasn't, but I yeah, I don't know.
So are you still there in that moment?
Obviously, that's the image that comes up.
Okay.
I thought I cleared it, but
Okay. So right now you are trying, at one level you're still there, and the other level you are trying to make sure that never happens again. And the best way to make sure that never happens again from your subconscious perspective is just make sure no one sees you and you don't do anything publicly anymore, because then it eliminates all possibility. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to make sure it never happens again?
Yes.
And are you willing to destroy the belief, wow, that people make you out to be wrong?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it started to move and pull back.
Mm.
So here's the thing. If you're in that story, it's going to happen over and over again. It may have happened, but an incident does not make a story. Sometimes people will try to make you wrong. Sometimes people will make you right. Sometimes people just don't, just go with it. It doesn't matter. But as long as you're stuck in, they try to make me wrong, it's going to just keep showing up and showing up and showing up. Ouch.
I think I have this just a belief that most people can't see what I see, and that I can't blame them for not being able to see.
Yep.
And so I feel like I'm working against something really big, collective beliefs.
Yep.
And that just it just feels like it's a lot of work.
It is. So don't work against it. Right? If most people don't see what you see, that's fine. That's on them. But there are a whole bunch of people that see what you see, and those are the people you want to work with and align to. Right? If 6,999,000,000 people don't align with you, but 1,000,000 people do, and you can change the lives of 1,000,000 people, that's still a huge impact and a fulfilling life. So it doesn't matter that most people don't see it. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to get everyone to see what you see?
Yes.
Ooh, that was a big one. So
I feel much lighter.
Good to hear. Don't fight the current, right? If there's all these people that are against you, don't fight them. Just go along and then find that current that takes you to all the people that you just align with, and let those other people go. And and this is the thing, the more you go to those people that align with you, the more things can grow. As long as you're fighting against the people that don't align with you, that are saying, I don't see it, I don't know what you're talking about, it's just going to make it harder and harder and harder in your life, right? And it doesn't matter if they're close. Like I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a few years ago. He said, "What do you do?" And I tried to explain to him what I did, and he goes, "Oh, so you're an unlicensed psychiatrist?" And I could have said, "No, that's not what I do. It's much different." But I went, "You know what? Yeah, that's exactly what I am. How was your day?" And we just went on and carried on with the conversation, because there was no point in pushing against what I knew I couldn't change. And just start doing that more in your life, and you'll find that there's going to be some people that go, "Oh my God, Yoni, that's it. I know exactly what you're saying. I see what you see. Let's work together." Okay. How you doing?
Good. I still have, some other blocks, but feeling like I want to give space to some other people.
Okay. We can chat later.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. see who we got. Courtney. Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
weird a little, I think. I
Okay.
got sort of stuck somewhere and I'm not sure why.
Okay.
But things were going really, really good. And last week I had an opportunity to work this national commercial where I would have gotten like 10 grand. And then as I was leaving town, the commercial got canceled. And then I tried maybe not to let it get me down, you know what I mean? To just kind of look at how positive that was and how much further I'll get going. But it seems like everything that I'm trying to do to like move forward from that spot kind of keeps blowing up in my face, because I ended up getting like cancellation fees, which ended up being an extra few $100s so I could take a class, an acting class I wanted, which happened to start tomorrow. But then when I went to go sign up for it, I got all the way to the end of the registration and it was sold out. So like they allowed me to go through the entire process. And then at the end it was like, no, you can't sign up for that. And just even with work, like all day I've been trying to get stuff done and I'm just not, because you know what I mean? There's just a part of me that just doesn't, same sort of thing yesterday.
What's interesting is what's coming up is who wants to hold you back?
I don't know. Like my mom type thing?
There's some energy there. Okay. So are you willing to step out of the story of whoever the people are that want you to hold back? Oh, looks like she just went frozen. Yeah, so this is called resistance.
Yes.
There's a lot of resistant
Yeah, there
energy.
was some struggling in that.
There we go. She's back.
I'm back. Did you ask that question again?
Are you willing to step out of the story of all the people that want to hold you back?
Yes.
And is it safer where you are?
Yes.
Okay. So are you trying to stay where it's safe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So
Like not consciously.
oh, I get that.
Okay.
Or else you would have got the commercial booking and said, no, screw it. That's not happening. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you need to stay where it's safe?
Yes.
Where was the audition?
The job was in Toronto.
How do you feel about Toronto right now?
I'm actually really excited about it.
Okay.
Rent's gone down a little.
Mhm.
The part that makes me scared about Toronto, because I would like to move back there in 2 months, is the idea of being like locked into like $2,000 of rent a month, and the fear of how that's going to happen every month.
Okay. So there's a couple things there. Number one, you have a very, very specific number on the rent.
Yeah.
So where did $2,000 come from?
That's like the price of a 1-bedroom, like south of Bloor.
Okay. So again, while most people have that story, that is just a story. Right?
Yeah.
I've rented a fully furnished 1-bedroom on Yonge Street for $1,000 a month. So, and there were people that were living in the same building that were paying $2,000-3,000, right? But it's just like, but this is my reality. So here we are.
Yeah.
So are you willing to step out of the story that living in Toronto has to be expensive?
Yes.
And for those of you not from Toronto listening, that's like the main street in Toronto where it's really, really expensive. Well, okay. The other thing is you're going to be locked in. So if you move to Toronto, will you be trapped?
It seems, yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
When you're open to it, there's all sorts of possibilities. There's the clause in your lease to just give notice. There's some people that just rent month to month. There's all sorts of possibilities out there. But as long as you're in that, well, then I'm locked in for a year and I'm stuck $2,000 a month. Well, then you're going to be in resistance to that reality big time.
Yeah.
Okay. There's still some stuff on Toronto. Okay, is there anything else that bothers you about Toronto?
I guess I don't feel cool enough, maybe
Okay.
sometimes when I think about it. Or I'm not, okay. I don't know if it's either one. Like one, I don't feel hip or cool enough sometimes. And another thing is sort of like when I got this like $10,000 booking, the part of it I love is the part where I get to go to set, which, happens like 5 days into the process. The part that I felt like really inadequate on or like overwhelmed about was like packing a car, booking an Airbnb, doing like all of this with like less than, 6 hours to go. And the idea that like, will I know how to get to the place where I have wardrobe without getting lost or being late? And will I know, you know what I mean? And what happens if there's traffic or, like all of that stuff feels really, it just feels like there's so many variables where I could fuck up and it could fuck everything up and I can't control it.
Okay. So is it better for it not to happen than for you to possibly fuck it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to destroy that belief?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those possibilities are out there. But if you get into this intention that this is going to work and whatever the adventure is, I'm up for it, then, it just somehow shows up in the right way, even if it's a convoluted way. I had to go to a meeting. Where the hell was I going? Santa Barbara. And I booked 3 hours out to get to the airport or to be at the airport 3 hours before the flight. And I get there and I'm going through check-in and then they're going, what flight are you on? And I'm like, this flight. And I'm like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, that flight leaves from Toronto Island, not Toronto International Airport. You're at the wrong airport. I was just like, wait, what? Then I had to drive across the city to get to the right airport. And I made it, but it was just, I was laughing the whole way. It's just like, how do I end up at the wrong freaking airport? Like, that's a big mistake. But it all worked out. And there's been other occasions. I remember one time I was with my sister. We were going to an event together, and we got to the airport late. And she was in like, oh my God, we're going to make the flight over there. And I'm like, calm down, calm down. And she's like, but we're late. I said, we're not late until the plane is left. And we went through security, we went through customs, and then we got there like 2 minutes before the plane was supposed to leave, and the gates should have been closed because they close it 10 minutes before it leaves. And we sat there for 20 minutes while they took care of delays and stuff. And this whole, are we going to make it was there was no point because we were good. So, but that was the adventure we were on. So when you're an allowance of whatever adventure goes on, it actually causes things to go easier, and the adventure becomes more interesting and fun rather than panic ridden. And it's like, I'm never going to find that place. I'm going to miss the whole audition. And like that stuff just goes away because, if you do miss the audition, or if you're late for it or whatever it is, you're still there. You're still out there, as opposed to being at home going, it just doesn't exist now, right? So, and it makes a great story afterwards. That's another thing. So, are you willing to destroy the belief that you shouldn't do it unless it's guaranteed to be easy?
Yes.
Ow. Okay. That's not all you. There's a whole bunch of people listening that are like, right now. So. Whew. Okay. How does that feel?
It feels good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let us go to the next person. And Arthur.
Shiraz?
Hey, Arthur.
I have two questions. One question I have is I have a friend who was enlightened for 2 years and then she got out of it, the energy left her, and she was depressed for years after.
Okay.
It's like a traumatizing thing for me because that's my ultimate goal. And one thing that's preventing me from moving forward possibly is that if I get to a higher frequency, like a lot higher, I might make some mistakes and drop. So it's like not a nightmare, but it's like what if I get what I want and then I fuck it up, I mess it up?
Yeah. So what if you do? You still got what you want. You still got to experience it. You got to enjoy it.
But I want it permanently.
Okay. So if you want it permanently, you're locking into one possibility and creating limitation. So what if the possibility for you is, okay, so if your choices are to have it for a while and experience enlightenment and then possibly lose it, or never have it, what would you choose?
I'd rather have it for a bit.
Okay. But what you were just saying is I want it permanently. Right?
Yeah, you're right. That was
Your
like my
decision
own
is that it has to be permanent, and that's not on the table for you. If it's only temporary, then you're just not going to have it. So you don't get disappointed and upset that you didn't have it permanently.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where that phrase, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Are you willing to step out of the story that it's better to not become enlightened than to just become enlightened for a little while?
Yes.
And are you willing to destroy the belief that because she was it depressed?
Yeah, depressed after.
Okay. Are you willing to destroy the belief that just because she was depressed after being enlightened, that's exactly what's going to happen to you?
Yes. We're different.
Oh. What happens if you get enlightened and then you're enjoying yourself? It goes on for a couple of years and then you slip out of it. And instead of going into depression, you're like, oh, I lost it. Okay, I guess I'll just need to get it back again, and then you keep working on it till you get back there again. Why can't that
That would
be
be
a possibility?
amazing. That would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Okay.
I would like that kind of confidence.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you've done it once, you can absolutely do it again. So it's just you're buying her story of what reality is like for her achieving enlightenment.
True.
It's not your story.
So I want to ask my second question.
Mhm.
I plan to move to like there's so many options. Like I keep thinking like once I'm at higher frequency, I'll have more options. And I could move to like a temple or nature. And I'm just thinking like it would be nice if at that high frequency I just sit in a cave or near trees or in a temple for like till I die pretty much. And that's like a dream. But at the same time, it's kind of like with Courtney's question. It's like the logistics of it, and I also have that problem where I would only do that if it's easy. But then I don't think it will be easy. But where I'm at right now, I think to move out of my parents' house and just to have like I want to get from here straight to a cave and just be able to live off nature and like it's weird.
Okay, so you want to move into a cave or someplace and be in nature, and the problem is the logistics.
The problem is I don't know. Like for example, little things like my classes are very particular. So if they break while I'm not hunting, but like trying to scrounge for food and stuff like that, then I'd have to get back to like regular society, which I want to do. So I just want to stay there and get a new pair of glasses or something like that. And then that will require money, and so then I'd have to work to get that money or something like that. And it's like all these convoluted or weird ideas I have about what I'll need to do once I'm there or preparation for that before or after that kind of experience.
Okay. So you're coming up with all the reasons not to go after the thing you want.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just your subconscious telling you to play it safe, stay where you are, and not make any moves, because where you are is very comfortable and safe.
That's why we're having this conversation.
So you have a choice. You can listen to yourself, to your subconscious, or you can make different choices. And I'm not saying, just drop everything and go. There's always that, take precautions, maybe get a second set of glasses, maybe work to make sure you have enough money to afford whatever incidents come up. But look at it from a point of, this is what I'm going to do, and then start taking action, see what shows up, because the universe will guide you and say, okay, if you're going to do this, you need to have this in place. Or if you're going to do this, you want to go see this person or stay at this retreat, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a cave. It could just be an ashram somewhere where you can have your privacy, but people are just nearby if you need it. But you're creating, just the way Courtney created $2,000 rent and that's it. You're like, it's a cave away from everyone, and I'm going to be screwed if anything goes wrong. Why create a scenario like that where it could be, it's a small hut half a mile away from an ashram where everything I need is available, and I still get my privacy and I can do whatever the hell I want. Why does it have to be so difficult?
I always feel so silly talking to you. You're absolutely right. It could be that simple. And the thing is, I kind of look at the experience of moving to a cave or in nature to be like how I went to Nepal. When I made that decision, I will go into Nepal in October last year. Heaven or hell, I don't care. And then my parents were like, well, we're kicking you out and we're disowning you. And you'll have no funds and you'll be screwed. And I was like, I'm fine. Even if I go, I have to go. And when I come back, I don't even care if I have to live like a homeless person. It's fine. And then they changed their attitude and they even supported me a bit. And it worked out beautifully. Yeah. So it's not that the only thing I really did was like, I just made that intention. I will do this. And then everything followed. I went to Nepal in the airplane. The whole plane was Chinese people. Only a couple of Nepalese people were beside me, and they showed me the roads. They bought the taxi for me. Everything worked out. So I want to maybe some help on me, helping me make that decision. I will live in that kind of. I don't know all the moving parts, but like what you said, nature near an ashram, which has all facilities, sounds brilliant. But there's so many unknowns that I'm not too sure how to move forward to there.
You just keep taking a step. And as you take steps forward, everything starts to become known, right? If you look at it and say, there's too many unknowns, therefore I shouldn't do anything. That's like saying, you know, I'm on the east side of the city. I wanted to go on the west side of the city. And I don't know what all the traffic lights are going to be like. And unless I know I'm going to hit the green ones all the way through, I'm just not going to do anything. But, you know, no one drives like that. You drive, and then sometimes you hit a traffic light. And if you're in Toronto, you're probably going to hit construction and take a detour. But eventually you get to that destination. You just don't know the exact route. You have an idea of what it should be, what it's going to look like, but you just go.
I think I need to travel to a few different places at least once a year, like one new place a year, until I find that ideal situation. Because I don't like that place that you described. Not sure I've ever been to any place like that before.
Okay.
Well, I need to do some research. I need to travel.
And you got a bunch of adventures ahead then. That'll be fun.
That sounds great. Thank you, Shiraz.
You're welcome. All right. Let's go to, there were 3 hands, now there's 2. Snez.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Cool.
On a rainy, sunny, crazy day, but okay. I've been struggling with a kind of a belief that I know generated from my mom.
Mhm.
And as long as I've known my mom, she's always prayed and for health, which is, you know, for the whole family.
Mhm.
But she has a very deep rooted belief that money is evil, and that we, as you know, we are to be comfortable in our lives, but that we don't deserve abundance, and it's something that we have been brought up. We have a lot of history that kind of made her think that way. And that's why she thinks money is evil. She won't gamble. She won't buy lottery tickets or anything like that. And we come from a country that we didn't have much. So we are in Canada, and by where we're leap and bounds. So I can't say I don't have abundance. I'm comfortable. I have plenty of everything I need. But when it comes to income, I've always been on the low end of the spectrum, and I've learned to live with it. But you know, you talk to other people and they're making 3 times the amount of money than you are, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, where did I go wrong? So since I've started working with you, I realized there's some beliefs that I have to let go. And I think maybe this is one of them that I need to work on. That, you know, my mom's beliefs of that we do not deserve the money is something, and I'm struggling because I'm afraid if I go that way, the health part of it will disappear. You understand where I'm going with?
So you have to choose between money and health?
Well, that's where I'm kind of, I'm a mature person and I am very healthy, maybe a few pounds extra, but in general, no medication, no problems, no issues. And I in so many ways have attributed that from my mom's constant belief and prayers that we are all healthy, and my whole family, touch wood, is healthy. So now I'm you see where I'm kind of struggling?
But if you made more money, would you have to stop praying? If the
No,
prayer is the source of the health, then why would you stop praying just because you have more money?
well, I'm not, I'm not gonna, health is still number one thing for me and for my family. And that's one thing we were teaching, been taught. So praying is not something that I really do for money. I never have. It's just was there. It's, health is something we, work on. So praying one way or the other is not necessarily what I'm going there or whatever.
Well, it kind of feels like you can either you can either choose between health or money, and you're praying for health.
Right.
So you're not allowed to pray for money because you have to choose one or the other.
I guess that's where I'm going at, or
Okay.
been brought up with.
Okay. So are you willing to step out of your mom's story that you have to choose between health and money?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's not moving. Huh.
Hmm.
Okay. So what's wrong with having money?
I don't know. Maybe subconsciously, I do believe it's evil.
Okay. And is that your story?
No, it's not my story. I guess it's
That's
consciously, I know it's not evil.
okay. So are you willing to step out of the story that money is evil?
Yes.
Are you willing to step out of the story that you should only have enough money to be comfortable?
Yes.
Ooh, there's some resistance, but it's moving a bit. See, what happens is you get people that haven't learned how to make a lot of money. They have enough money so they're comfortable. And rather than be in frustration, why can't I make more money? How do I get more money? They decide to create a belief that, well, you should only have what's comfortable and any more is not good. Any more can be greedy. So now you have a justification for just having that much money and you can feel good about yourself because you've established that belief. So I doubt your parents created it, but someone before them created it, and then they just kept passing it along, and now we're up to you.
Right.
So, okay. So are you willing to step out of the story that asking for more money is being greedy?
Yes.
Whew. Oh, and do you have to follow your parents' beliefs?
No, I don't.
So that's not coming up true. What would be wrong with not following your parents' beliefs?
Nothing, I guess.
Are you a good daughter if you don't believe the same things your parents do?
I should be. Yeah, yes.
Would be is not a yes. Right?
Yes, okay. Yeah,
Okay. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you're not a good daughter if you don't follow your parents' beliefs?
yes.
Oh. Okay, so let's go back to the original one. Are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to choose between money and health?
Yes.
There we go. Oh, ooh. Okay, how's that feel?
Not bad. I think I have to I have anger in me because my grandmother got robbed of a fortune,
Okay,
and I feel very angry about that, which I shouldn't. Um, my grandfather passed away in a severe accident, and she was supposed to inherit this money as a severance for his death. And a very nasty lawyer took it away from her
okay,
because she would not oblige. And I'm finding an anger in me regarding that. And that's one of the things where it stems, this whole thing, is the fact that this money is evil, and it ruined our whole lives, and we lived in poverty for a long time because of that. So I think it's one of the things I have feel that I need to let go.
okay. So what happens there is you originally had a story about having too much money. And when you had the opportunity to inherit the money, it goes against what you believe in. So you have to find a way to make that money go away.
Okay.
And it just went away in such a big way that just live in poverty.
Right.
But it's based on where you were at the time. So there's a piece of forgiveness. There's forgiveness for the lawyer, forgiveness for yourselves, so you can get through this. Because everyone was just in their individual stories, which matched up to create that particular incident.
Right.
So are you willing to forgive that lawyer?
Yes.
Are you willing to forgive your family?
Yes.
And are you willing to forgive yourself?
Yes.
Okay, how's that feel? Okay, Garrett, anything? How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay. It's gonna take a while, but I'm okay.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll keep checking up on you. And Jerry.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. How are you doing?
Good. You can hear me good?
I can hear you.
So this is kind of a mix of previous call with some issues that oh God, Will and whoever was talking about money. Like
Okay.
I think I'm along the same path as them. Like, so I don't know if you remember this, but the last time I spoke with you, we were talking about how I was kind of afraid to play with the big boys because the big boys have lots of money, and there was all this kind of self-image stuff about like having money and stuff like that. So that's part of the piece that I was identifying with Will about, you know, asking for money for my service and charging to make parts and stuff like that. So I think there's still some of that lingering. I'm in the midst of kind of working out a deal with some major players right now in the automotive industry. So I'm going to be talking with them, and it's pretty cool. Like after that call, like all these things just started changing and aligning, and I started talking to all of these like really important people. So I'm kind of in the midst of setting up meetings and phone calls and stuff like that to see what we can work out together. And yeah, it's amazing. Like, so I'm excited. I'm kind of like, oh my God, you know? So I'm just wondering if I'm hesitating or if there's anything lingering about other people or anything like that. Like, cause like it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Is it okay if it happens?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, that's an issue, because that should be just a solid yes, absolutely, it's okay. It's great if it happens. If it is an I don't know, there's resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, so why would it not be okay for it to happen?
I still feel like I can't handle it. Like when I think of all the money that these people have and the size of these companies, I'm like, I'm just me, you know? Like I believe I have things to bring to the table, but I'm like, do I have enough to bring to the table to really play with these guys?
So that's what their thoughts were when they were in your position and they were playing with bigger people.
Okay,
And look where they are now.
true.
And I guarantee you, some of them are still having those thoughts, right? Here I
Right.
am with the big boys. Am I really worthy of this? Oh my God, I'm kind of scared. And there's just that self-doubt, second guessing that goes on. But everyone goes through it. It's part of the growth. Eventually you just
Right.
sort of settle into it. Okay, here I am. So, oof. Okay. Are you worthy of playing with the big boys?
I still don't think so.
Okay, so are you willing to destroy the belief that you're not worthy of playing with the big boys?
Yes.
Are you willing to step out of the story that it's happening too big and too fast? Oh. Wow.
Oh man.
What's wrong with big and fast? Come on.
To be honest, I feel like it has something to do with I feel like I'm going it alone. Like I don't have any I don't have any partners. Like I really am it's just me. So I'm kind of like really, oh my God, oh my God.
But aren't you going to be working with these people?
Yeah.
So that won't be just you.
Right.
Okay. So are you willing to step out of the story that you're in this alone?
Yeah.
So keep in mind, if these people are going to be working with you,
Mhm.
do you think they want you to fuck up?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So if they're going to start doing deals with you, they're going to want to give you support to make sure these deals go through.
True.
So it's not like people say, oh, you know what, I want to work with Jerry just so I can make him fail. People don't do business that way, right? So
That's true. That's true. And if they're even approaching me, and willing, then there's, certainly some confidence there.
Yes. So just move forward knowing this is going to work out great for everyone involved. That should be your intention. It's going to be big, it's going to be amazing, and everyone's going to benefit.
Right. There's one more piece. I feel so bad because I've got one guy who's basically sitting waiting for me to give him an answer. Like, he wants to move forward. He's kind of waiting for the go ahead from me, and I'm kind of stalling because I'm waiting for the go ahead from them. So, I guess we all probably need to have a meeting together, because it's like, I've got one guy, hey, we're ready to go, just give us the word. And then, the other side is like, well, let's talk details first. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to give anyone an answer until I'm sure.
Okay. So then have that meeting.
Right.
And just keep in mind that the reason it's not go ahead now is because it's not go ahead in you. Well, it wasn't at the beginning of this call. Because until it's really a go ahead in you, it's going to keep stalling.
Right.
So are you ready to go ahead?
Oh man. No.
Okay. So what's wrong with going ahead?
There's a substantial deposit.
Okay.
Like.
Okay. So you've created an obstacle.
Okay.
Now it's time to just get that intention. This is going to go ahead. And it doesn't matter how it goes ahead, I'm going to make this go ahead. And when you're set in that intention, you will find a way to deal with that deposit. Whether you figure out a way to make the money, whether someone spots you the money, whether the money just disappears and doesn't become an issue. There's all these possibilities that can go out there.
Right.
But if you're in this place of still lack, I don't have the money, I can't do the deposit, so everything has to stop, then you're not really in that, I want this to happen, because you're creating the blocks to this happening as you go.
What kind of, like, I understand, like, I know it's an issue for everybody, because when you're trying to create something, whether you're missing a tool or something, it can become a mindset where you're like, I don't have this thing, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So, but still, people manage to move forward. It works like that way for everybody. Yeah. So then what is a mindset or thought or something?
You have to look at the goal and the result, and what are you willing to do to get to that result? Like, let's say, okay, I said, Jerry, I want you to go from here to Vancouver and start with absolutely no money. Would you do it? No. Now, what if I said, Jerry, I want you to go from here to Vancouver and start with absolutely no money, and I have $10 million check waiting for you in Vancouver. Would you do it?
I'd walk.
You'd walk. So suddenly you're able to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because now the goal is there. It's like, oh, well, this is going to be worth something. Is what you're trying to create with these people worth it?
Oh, I guess I'm thinking about the reward at the end, because I know that, like Dragon's Den, I mean, nobody invests unless they are sure that they're going to get a return on their investment. So I guess I'm thinking, I don't know if I can guarantee a return.
Yeah, that's not what happens in Dragon's Den.
Or, okay.
It looks that way, that, this looks like a good investment. None of them are sure they're going to get a good investment. Most investors, they invest in like 10 things because one of them pays off and pays off big enough to cover the other 9, right? So this, I mean, it's great for the show and everything, but people that have gone on Dragon's Den, they've got investments and their companies have folded.
Right, true.
Right? So there is no guarantee. There's never this guarantee. It's all about focusing on the goal and knowing that no matter what happens with the endeavor, it's all going to work out and it's going to be amazing. How it's amazing is going to be a mystery until that shows up.
Right. Okay.
Right? But as soon as you're in that solid intention, this is going to be amazing, then that amazing is like the $10 million in Vancouver. You know, before you weren't going to go there, now you're willing to walk. Like,
Got it.
okay. So are you okay? Are you ready for this to move forward?
Yes.
Good. That was a real yes. Okay. How are you feeling?
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay. And there we go. We are at after 4, actually. We had one more hand up, but I will take care of Mark tonight because I know he's coming tonight, 9 o'clock. If you go to energeticmagic.com and go to events, then there is a 9 o'clock 1 hour session like this going on. We do these free sessions at the end of each month. And while you're on energeticmagic.com, check out the events that are coming up, check out the monthly magic program. It's all good. And for those of the people that are on the call, this is actually going out to the breakthrough show. So I'm putting that in the chat box on Zoom. And the breakthrough show has a whole bunch of shows that are amazing. Jessica runs interviews. There's Ask Crystal. So check out the page, like it, join it, however it works. And I will see all of you next month, last Monday of the month. If I don't see you sooner at one of the events. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing day, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.